Okay, guys. Okay. It's class trial time, I guess.
So is everyone ready to what? Am I blind or are we missing someone?
Yo.
Yeah, Toko's not here.
Huh? And Toko is...
You really don't remember.
Come on. Kidding, I'm kidding. How could I forget that little nut job? She's a crucial part of the class trial this time.
What are you gonna do?
Okie dokie, I'll go ahead and drag her out here, kicking and screaming. Just one moment, please.
And just like that, he said, a few minutes later, he reappeared dragging Toko behind him. I told him I didn't want to, but he forced me. I can't believe you would drag a girl around. Terrible. You terrible.
Phew. So now everyone's here, right? Okay then, hustle onto the elevator and let's get this show on the road. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
So shall we get going? It's time to find out who killed Chihiro. Chihiro Fujisaka. She was so gentle, so calm and meek. Nobody had any problems with her. Someone made the choice to kill a girl like that. Alright, and that murderer is one of us. Someone standing right here. I feel like it's you. There is something odd about Toko's behavior. I do not think mere shock is enough to explain it. I don't know why the killer did what they did, but I'm sure it'll work itself out. Justice always prevails. Right, bro? Right. I gave you plenty to work with. Show us how far your logic can take you. You ready? We doing this?
Well,
I will uncover the villain who performs such heinous acts on a weaker individual.
Miss Fujisaka, I must admit, for being 3D, she was quite remarkable. Of course, just the idea of 3D makes me cringe.
Hey, come on.
Toko, man, what's got her so worked up? Oh, I didn't mean to talk to you. I want to talk to her. I guess I wasn't much help at this one, at all on this one. Okay, are we ready? I talked to except you.
Shall we go?
Shall we begin? Yes, let's go. We have no choice, right? We have to do this. Yes. I gave a small nod in reply. With one last deep breath, I walked toward the elevator on shaky legs. With each step forward, I could feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. As soon as everyone was on, the elevator began to descend. I couldn't get a handle on my emotions, couldn't stop speculating. This elevator is going to be so empty at some point. We're going to the class trial. And as we went deeper, the uneasiness, oh my lord, it's unaffected and continued to descend without hesitation until finally it came to a sudden stop.
What do you think? I redecorated. Isn't it so fresh?
Don't waste our time with stupid questions. Let's get this over with.
Good, good. You're rip-roaring to go. Good. Gotta say, I don't hate it. Not at all. Okay, then let's get this show on the road. Everyone, please find your assigned seats.
Okay, here we go. And so the curtain opened once again. Excuse me. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. This is so good. For what? Are y'all ready? Set skills. I have skills? Increases the time limit for each phase. Let's do it. Let's use my skills. Increases damage when a statement is destroyed. Effective during the bullet time battle. Vocabulary. Yes, give me all of my skills. Open e-handbook. I don't think I have anything in my e-handbook, so let's go. It's trial time.
let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
We know this.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
The murder weapon. First, we have to make it clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. It was, a dumbbell. Make your argument. Locker room dumbbell.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
Oh no. Oh no, that's so bad.
Chihiro's fatal injury.
I didn't mean to.
Appears it was a head wound.
I didn't mean to. I thought it was gonna answer him.
Blunt instrument? What kind of blunt?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Interesting. That's certainly
No, I'm so bad. Go back.
Poor Chihiro.
The weapon. Please, I'm so bad.
Chihiro's fate. It appears it was.
According to the Monokuma file, what kind of blunt?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
No, it's wrong. I get so freaked out. What if I lose, guys?
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell found at the scene of the crime?
Yeah.
It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell.
Is it really?
As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Yes! That's so creepy!
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer. Did he really kill Chihiro? A new element has been added to the non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Yes. For this debate, my dogs are barking, I'm sorry. Oh, but if your action gentle is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all. In which case, you can forget about the silencer and just focus on the situation in front of you. Sorry if you can hear my dogs bark. I don't feel like stopping. I just want to play the game. Well then, good luck and have fun. Make your arguments. Genocide Jack case file.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it.
Yes.
Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible.
It's
Why?
not.
What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on. There's just no proof for it.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong.
I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
The characteristic of every Genocide Jack case, which the world at large doesn't know. If I'm not mistaken, it has to do with the positioning of the body. How the victim body was positioned. How he was like...
Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way.
Good job, Makoto.
Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way.
That she was.
So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
Period.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
You lie!
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has like glottophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer
Well,
is afraid of
not her
blood?
alter.
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle. Man, why is this
Bro,
gonna
you're supposed to be
so
like the psychic guy. It's a riddle for sure, but I feel like I understand it. What it means for Genocide Jack to be Toko, but also to not be Toko. The answer is that she's not just one person, but multiple people, right? Hangman's Gambit. Okay. What? What? Oh! Oh! It's Schizo. Schizo.
Now I understand.
I didn't know. Sorry, guys. I had to look it up.
Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Huh?
I think I read that somewhere in the file too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
One thing that shows Toko could have a split personality has to do with her behavior. Her behavior changed.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
I'm fine, I'm fine. Yeah. Whoa, is that a dead body? Hey, are you dead? She must have hit her head real hard when she fainted. The world has a front and a back, a top inning and a bottom, a sea of truth and a web of lies. This is quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can.
Obviously.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
She was scared of turning into Genocide Jack again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control. I'll drive out the killer, drive out the murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, You broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise...
I'm sorry, I couldn't keep our promise. But don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
How many times do I have to tell you? I never said that, but you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing.
This is tea.
Could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it.
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person? You don't mean...
Oh no. Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second...
Well, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see? What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
What?
Not Toko, that's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
So intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
This is the murderous fiend, that Genocide Jack. This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
And it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid! And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
Why is she laughing like that?
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined.
Celeste.
So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
What?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster!
Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. What she said, I need to get more details about all of this. I'm so confused. If it's not Toko, who is it? Status of the dead body. There's Leon.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need? Give it up. You killed her.
What is she supposed to say? Okay, I just have to focus on remembering Chihiro's body. That must have the answer.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect?
Perhaps if you had a...
Oh, an alibi.
When you compare your past, the modus operandi matches complete. What more proof do we...
Oh, hold on. Hold on. I've got to go back. Okay, I just have to focus. I don't want to get it wrong because my hearts are going to run out.
You say that.
Sorry, I didn't kill anyone.
When you compare
They
your
sound
past,
so
the modus
good.
operandi matches complete. What more proof do we need?
Give it up. You killed her.
I don't know.
Sorry, but I...
You say that, but do you...
Perhaps if you had an...
Oh, an alibi.
When you compare your... The modus operandi matches...
No, that's wrong.
What? So
Are
he
the
didn't...
methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But
So-
what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine.
Did she really not do it?
Let
No.
me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide
Then who
Jack
killed
cases
her?
and this one.
There's one clear difference between the murders. In the photos from the other Genocide Jack cases, look at the neck and stomach. The victim's fatal.
For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
That's right, the second difference is related to how she was suspended. In the photos of the other Genocide Jack cases, all the other victims were stabbed through their hands. Here you'll see a clear difference. How the body was put when she was suspended.
I got it!
Is it how she was suspended?
Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
Yeah.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide
Celeste
Jack
said
cases,
bye.
something else was used to suspend them.
Wasn't it straight up scissors?
Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very
So
picky about the
who-
tools I use.
Who killed?
And you know what else?
Big
Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Let's see. There was a pattern surrounding the Genocide Jack, and Chihiro didn't fit. I think I figured it out. Because Chihiro was a girl.
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
I heard that line. I love that line.
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something
So who
in common.
killed Chihiro? They're all dudes.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong
I'm so
with you?
embarrassed. What is
I
that?
can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl! And the mopey side of me just hates it! But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely. When you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly? Cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect.
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Who killed her?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use
I'm
my
so
own set
confused.
of high-class envy of the entire world. Scissors.
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
Ah.
She's fully equipped. That's right. So I can kill anywhere, anytime. Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. You can't, can you, gutter dogs, all of you? Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. The rope's totally out of the question anyway.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew
Did you
about
do it? Did you do it? You,
Yeah.
that's a little sus,
That's why
Mondo.
we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Actually, hold on. There is one person. One person who could have copied the Genocide Jack cases. Am I supposed to choose? Did he kill Chihiro?
Here's my answer.
No, did you?
Yakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal
Daddy
police
Longlegs?
records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all
No.
happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was
You don't want to be.
he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
And the locker rooms. They're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed, wouldn't you agree? Huh, suspicious. It seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, There's something very strange.
Who did it? I literally don't have
Okay,
any
then.
idea.
What's so strange about it? Go ahead. Share with the rest of the class.
There was a clear contradiction in what Daddy Longlegs just said. I need to make it clear to everyone. A new element. I want to hear what the new element is. Truth flashback. If you aim at a weak spot and hold down on the left mouse button, then you'll memorize that weak spot. True cylinder as many times as you want. Or a lie load into it might as your wise memory. I don't know. It's too complicated. I don't know. It's too complicated. Monokuma file number 2. What?
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Yes.
But he was acting weird. How?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it.
Toko is just
Natural reaction for any guy.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room. There was no time for pointless distraction. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
There's nothing wrong about that. About Chihiro, there's a clear contradiction there. Because it doesn't make any sense how he could have known before we'd even found it out or something.
So, you said but he was acting
weird.
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's unnatural.
The victim was Chihiro, who was so of course I would suggest there was no time.
Wait, hold on. So Chihiro was a girl. Hold on. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, hold on. I've got to go back through.
You said but he
Yes.
was acting
Yes.
That's unnatural.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl.
I don't know.
So, you said Byakuya was acting, but he was acting.
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room, that's unnatural.
The victim was Chihiro, so of course I would suggest there was no time.
I don't know.
I wish you'd taken me with you.
I don't know how to do it. I realize there's a clear Chihiro, what's the contradiction?
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Oh no. Maybe something weird is going. There must be a contradiction somewhere. No, I'm gonna lose. Stop. I don't know.
But he was acting weird.
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room.
Oh, sorry guys. Okay, I figured out how to do it.
There was no time. What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Okay, I figured out how to do this. So
you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
yes.
But he was acting weird.
If you're presented
Okay,
with the opportunity,
I think that's it.
The victim was Chihiro, so of course I would suggest we check the
No, I messed up again. Okay.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found him. But he was acting.
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the
That's a natural reaction for any.
The victim was Chihiro.
Okay.
No, that's wrong.
Lord, that was intense.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that, because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the
So
girls'
was it
locker
Togami?
room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead.
What's with Daddy Longlegs' attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. I've got him cornered, but he's acting like he has nothing. But it has nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is.
I
think.
There is more to it.
Think about it.
We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The difference is between this case and the other Genocide Jack murders. The evidence that proves is responsible is hidden there. What could it be? No, I'm gonna screw up again. Library desk lamp. Don't be hasty. I don't need to be hasty.
The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
It wasn't.
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Yeah.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life. Obviously, somebody else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
Library. I guess it's possible, but first. It was like rope, but was it actually rope? No, it wasn't. He used a very specific object.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use...
Sorry, guys. Okay.
But Chihiro, it was some kind of...
That's right!
It was a rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
It's not a rope.
No, it's wrong.
Was he trying to show us the
I'm
files
pretty
so he
sure
would have
you
an alibi?
Seen it before. Because you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder.
Dad, I'm gonna...
Waste.
What are you doing?
I'm recording. I have to cut this out now. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do would discover that fact.
Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
Yes. He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned, as if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved.
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second?
Who is it?
I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Okay. Okay, guys, I know my last class trial video was an hour, but I'm gonna have to edit this one down anyway. So I'm gonna split this one into two. And next episode, hopefully we'll find out who the real killer is. I have absolutely no clue. No clue who it could be. But you know what? So is so. Stick around to find out who did it. Who done it.